This is the Algebra 2 first semester review. Looking at number 1, you need to find the discriminant and determine the nature of the roots. The discriminant was part of the quadratic formula, quadratic equation, and it's what goes under the square root, which is b squared minus 4ac. The first thing you have to do with the quadratic is get everything on the same side. So this becomes 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. You're going to put your a, b, and c into the formula. Remember, a is the number in front of x squared, b is in front of x, and c is the constant. So this is negative 2 squared minus 4 times a is 3 times c is 5. Don't forget that since that is a negative 2, it has to go in parentheses before you square it. If you put this in your calculator, you should get a negative 56. That is the value of the discriminant. Using that to determine the nature of the roots, since it is negative, you will have two imaginary roots. Okay, your possibility for your nature of the roots is 2 imaginary, that's when it's a negative discriminant, 1 real, and that's when your discriminant is 0, and 2 real when your discriminant is a positive number. Number 2, the path of a rocket launched from the top of a building is modeled by this equation. In how many seconds will it reach? 65 feet. What you need to do here is put this equation at y1. You need to put 65 at y2. And then you're going to do second calc 5 for intersect. Enter, enter, enter. This is a quadratic, so you're going to have 2 answers. Okay, you do it the first time and you get negative 3.2. And then you do it for the second place where they cross each other and you get 5.3. You need to go back and look at the situation. In how many seconds will it reach 65 feet? Can you have negative 3.2 seconds? You cannot. So your only answer is actually 5.3. Looking at number 3, it wants you to simplify. The first thing you're going to have to do is factor. For the first one, you're going to find the factors of 14. 1 and 14, 2 and 7. Signs are different. The largest is positive, so the small one is negative. This becomes x minus 2 and x plus 7. For the bottom, you're going to find the factors of 8, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Signs are the same, and they are all negative. So the bottom actually becomes x minus 2 and x minus 4. You need to look and see if there's anything that's at the top and the bottom. That would be your x minus 2. It cancels, so your final answer is x plus 7 over x minus 4. Moving to number 4, you're going to solve for x. Basically, you're going to cross multiply. And so 2 times 28 is equal to 7 times negative x squared. This would become 56 is equal to negative 7x squared. Divide both sides by negative 7 and you get negative 8 is equal to x squared. So it's negative. You know you're going to have an I. You need to factor out your 8. It'll divide by 2. Divide by 2. So you're going to pull a 2 out and a 2 stays. So it becomes plus or minus 2i square root of 2 is equal to x. Looking at number 5. He wants you to describe the roots of the quadratic equation by looking at the graph. Where are your roots going to be, or what are they going to be like? Well, where are they? Roots are where it crosses the x-axis. It crosses it 2 times. So to describe the roots, you would have 2 real roots. It's not wanting the actual number, it's just wanting a description. Number 6, the function y equal negative 18 times x minus 1 squared plus 350 models the store's profit in dollars on a certain tool. What should the store charge in order to maximize the profit? What is the maximum profit? Okay, maximize. Okay, you're going to find the maximum. Put it into y1, and then you're going to do second calc max. So go to y equal. Clear it out. You're going to put negative 18 times x minus 1, quantity squared, plus 350. You're going to go second calc, number 4 for maximum. Let it draw. It's okay if you can't see the exact spot. Go to the left until you see your cursor on the left, enter. Go to the right until you see your cursor on the right side. Enter, enter. And you have 1,350. Okay, so your solution is actually a point, 1,350. You got to answer both parts of the question. What should they charge? That's going to be your X value, $1. What will the profit be? That's your Y value, $3.50. Number 7, Jill is looking at a graph of a parabola. Its vertex is -2.5, -30.25. It intersects the y-axis at -24, and it intersects the x-axis at 3, -8. What are the roots? Roots are where it crosses the x-axis. So look at the information they gave you. Intersect means the same thing as cross, so your answer is 3 and -8, no work involved. Going to the next page, number 8. Solve to the nearest hundredth. You're going to put this in your calculator at y equal. Got 3x squared minus 124x minus 1250. We're solving it, so I would go over here and put a 0 at y2. Second, calc 5 for intersect. Enter, enter, enter. And you get -8.3. Remember, we're going to the hundredth, so it's -8.38. -8.38. You got to have a second answer. So you're going to go second, calc 5 again. Go to the right until you see your cursor close to this other solution. Enter, enter, enter. And I didn't go far enough. Let's go to zoom 0 so we can kind of see what's going on. Let's go to zoom 3 for out. I'm needing to see the second place that it touches the x-axis, so I'm going to enter one more time. And we've got the negative one, now we need the other, so second, calc 5. Go way over to the right, close to that other intersection. Enter, enter, enter. And 49.71 is your other solution, 49.71. Remember, it said to the nearest hundredth, so I had to give 2 decimal places. Number 9, find the discriminant and describe the roots. Okay, we talked earlier, b squared minus 4ac is your discriminant. So -6 squared minus 4 times a is 4 times c is 5. Punch that in your calculator and you get -44. So once again, it's going to be too imaginary because that's a negative number. Number 10, Marcus is building a rectangular pen for his dog using his house as one side. So we have a rectangular pen. We don't care about this side because it's the house. He has 120 feet of fence materials to use for the other 3 sides. These 2 sides will be the same, so let's call them x. If you have 120 to work with, 120 minus these 2 sides would be minus 2x. We want the maximum area. Well, area is equal to length times width, so x times 120 minus 2x. If we want maximum, we're going to do second, calc max. You're going to get on either side, before enter, after enter, enter, and you're going to look at, you're going to get a point, 30, 1800. The actual maximum area is going to be the 1800. Number 11, how does the graph y equal -3x squared plus 2 compare to the graph y equal x squared? We went from positive to negative, so that means we flipped over x. We went from no number to a 3, which got bigger, so that's a vertical expansion. We went from nothing at the end to a plus 2, so that sent it up 2. Looking at number 12, find the vertex. You're going to put this in y equal. You're going to do second calc max or min, depending on whether it is a low point or a high point. You should get the point 3, 5. 13, use the table of values for the quadratic function below to determine between which two values of x that you will have a 0. Well, you've got to look and see where it changes from negative to positive right there. So it's going to happen between 7 and 11. What are the possible types of solutions for a quadratic? You can have 2 imaginary, you can have 1 real, or you can have 2 real. Going to the next page and looking at number 15. Solve this. Lots of different things you could do. To me, it's an easy one to factor. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Signs are the same. They're all positive. They have to equal 5. So you have x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x plus 3 is equal to 0. Move your 2, x is equal to negative 2. Move your 3, x is equal to negative 3. You could also put this in your calculator because it did not say how to solve it. Is the following a function? You look at your x's. We have a 2, we have a 5, we have a 6. They're all different. So yes, it is a function. What is the vertex? Once again, you put it into y equal. You go second, calc, and either max or min, depending on whether it's a high point or a low point. And you should get negative 0.8, comma, negative 8. Moving to number 18. How do you know if a graph is a function or not? You use your vertical line test. Remember, a vertical line can only cross it once. Number 19, how can you get the solution to a quadratic function by looking at the graph? It is where it crosses the x-axis. And number 20, how does the graph of y equal negative 2x squared compare to the graph of y equal 4x minus 2? This is the one that you started at, okay? So we went from positive to negative, which means a flip over x. We went from a 4 to a 2. So that got smaller, which is a vertical compression, which means it got wide. We went from a minus 2 to nothing, which would be a 0. So we actually went up 2. Okay, that's 1 through 20. Part 2 will pick up at number 21.